I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
To get intense. We've got a major legal showdown on our hands, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single detail. Melania Trump, former First Lady of the United States, is taking the hosts of The View to court in a defamation lawsuit worth a staggering $100 million. Yes, you read that right, $100 million. This is a battle that has the potential to shake up the entertainment and media industries, and it's already got people talking. So what exactly is going on here? Let's break it down piece by piece. First things first, Melania Trump is suing the hosts of The View over some seriously explosive comments they made about her during a recent episode. And when I say explosive, I mean they've really hit a nerve. This is not your average celebrity feud. We're talking about a high-profile legal battle that could have lasting implications for how the media treats public figures. And Melania, she's not holding back. Now, let's get into the details of those comments that triggered this whole situation. During a discussion on The View, the hosts were talking about Melania's time as First Lady, and let's just say their opinions were far from flattering. In fact, some of their remarks were downright controversial, if not inflammatory. One host, for example, suggested that Melania wasn't exactly thrilled about her role in the White House. The implication was that she didn't want to be First Lady in the first place and wasn't happy with her marriage to Donald Trump. Those are some seriously bold claims to make about someone's personal life.
Critics are going hard after a liberal media member for vile comments about Melania Trump. The former First Lady appears to signal her support for reproductive rights in a video out yesterday.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
And this take is pretty shocking.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
Wow. I mean, that is violent. They've got to stop talking like that about a former president who's had 2 assassination attempts. I mean, that's just ignorant.
But that wasn't the worst of it. The conversation quickly spiraled into a series of criticisms of Melania's personal choices and actions while in the White House. They scrutinized everything from her redecorating of the White House to her stance on Christmas traditions. One host even went as far as to imply that Melania didn't care about the role she was in, painting a picture of someone who was resentful and unhappy with the expectations placed on her. As you can imagine, these kinds of comments didn't sit well with Melania.
Because I do want to get back to this point with the left and Melania Trump. Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View. And look, The View is not the litmus test of America. We don't think that.
They were afraid of that.
Being a very private person, especially compared to other public figures. So when these personal attacks were made, she was reportedly furious, and it didn't take long for her to take action. Melania filed a defamation lawsuit against the hosts of The View, claiming that their statements were not only false, but also seriously damaging to her reputation. Now, this isn't just about hurt feelings or a public relations stunt. This is about protecting her image and ensuring that false and harmful narratives about her don't spread unchecked. And let's be clear, this lawsuit isn't something you see every day. Public figures, especially those in Melania's position, often take a more passive approach to media criticism. Many choose to issue brief statements or simply ignore the controversy. But Melania, she's not backing down. By filing this lawsuit, she's sending a message that she's not willing to let falsehoods about her character go unchallenged. She's fighting for accountability, and she's doing it in a major way.
These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what The View's audience loves. It is targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate. Another now. This is loving and tolerant rhetoric the left uses, which they accuse the opposing side of using. And this one, those women are a danger to America. They do more than anyone else to stoke political and social tensions. The former president says he thinks his wife should be allowed to think for herself.
But why does this matter? Why is this lawsuit so important? Well, folks, this case is about more than just a celebrity beef. It's about a much larger issue. What can and can't be said about public figures? This lawsuit raises crucial questions about the boundaries of free speech, media responsibility, and the protection of personal reputations. Melania's legal battle could set a precedent for how future defamation cases involving public figures are handled, and it could have a huge impact on the way media outlets, like talk shows, treat personal matters about the people they cover. Think about it. If Melania wins this case, it could shift the way media platforms approach controversial or speculative stories about politicians, celebrities, and their families. We could see a major rethinking of what's considered acceptable content on shows like The View and other major outlets. This could lead to a more cautious approach when discussing public figures' private lives. But on the flip side, it could also spark debates about the potential chilling effect on free speech, especially when it comes to discussing the lives of those in the public eye. And here's where it gets even more intriguing: the timing of this lawsuit. Right as Melania files her legal claim, Donald Trump is making headlines for a completely different set of reasons. Some people are already speculating that this legal action could be a calculated move on Melania's part. Could this lawsuit be a strategic attempt to shift the media spotlight back onto her, especially with everything going on in the political sphere? After all, Donald Trump's controversies and legal battles are dominating the news. So could Melania's lawsuit be part of a broader strategy to reassert her presence in the media landscape? It's definitely something to think about. But let's take a moment to talk about the comments that really pushed Melania to take legal action.
Allegedly, he was cheating while Melania was pregnant.
That was all. That's not going to come in front of the jury, though. The judge has ruled that won't come up.
We're on television now. And then after Melania gave birth to the baby, he found Stormy to strip around with, right?
Yeah.
It's like people should look at him and say, you know, what kind of an insecure jerk are you? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my wife's pregnant. I'm not attracted to her big belly or something.
A host claimed that Melania hates her husband and no longer wanted to live with him. Can you believe that? These kinds of statements are not only deeply personal, they're also highly damaging. For many viewers, it was one of those moments where you had to rewind to make sure you heard it right. The audacity of these comments left a lot of people shaking their heads. It's one of those instances where the line between opinion and harmful gossip becomes incredibly blurry. What's been particularly surprising in all of this is how quickly Melania has moved to take legal action. High-profile figures often don't react so swiftly. Many would have issued a statement or simply let it go, but Melania isn't playing that game. She's going all in, taking the fight straight to court, and with $100 million on the table, it's clear she means business. This is a serious legal battle, not just a publicity stunt. Melania is sending a clear message. The impact of these comments goes far beyond a minor media disagreement. This is about safeguarding her personal and public reputation for the long term.
Now, you know who has been bragging all over the campaign trail about how he's the one that overturned Roe v. Wade, but apparently his wife has different thoughts on the reproductive rights after posting this video plugging her memoir. Oh. Take a look.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
So what does this mean for the rest of us? This case could raise some pretty big questions about the relationship between the media, public figures, and personal privacy. Can celebrities and politicians expect full privacy, or do they have to accept a certain level of public scrutiny as part of their status? Where do we draw the line between free speech and defamation? This case could reshape media law, and experts are already predicting that the outcome will have a ripple effect across the entertainment industry. If Melania wins, it could change how the media handles personal stories stories about famous people, whether they're celebrities, politicians, or even their families. Of course, the case is already drawing some criticism. Some believe that Melania is simply exploiting the situation for publicity, while others argue that she's standing up for her reputation and drawing a much-needed line in the sand when it comes to what's acceptable in the media. The truth is likely somewhere in between, but one thing is for sure, this lawsuit is shining a spotlight on the complicated intersection of fame, personal privacy, and media responsibility. As this case moves through the courts, all eyes will be on both Melania and The View to see how the legal system responds to her claims. This isn't just about the money, it's about setting a new standard for how the media can discuss public figures. If Melania wins, we could see a massive shift in how talk shows, news outlets, and entertainment programs handle controversial subjects involving celebrities and politicians. The drama is just getting started, and we'll be here to keep you informed every step of the way. So what do you think? Is Melania right to sue, or could this set a dangerous precedent for free speech in the media? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the latest developments. This is a story that's going to be talked about for a long time, and we'll be right here, bringing you all the twists, turns, and updates. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay engaged, stay informed, and we'll see you right here next time with more breaking news on Melania, The View, and everything else this jaw-dropping saga brings. Take care, everyone.